All right, so today's video is going to be just a little bit different. We have a lot of ground we are going to try to cover in this one video, but the main focal point I want this video to be about mainly is what proper, honest, and responsible news coverage should look like from a progressive slash leftist news outlet or team or voice or whatever you want to say. And we're going to look at a whole bunch of stuff here, but the two main clips we are going to focus on are clips from the Young Turks, TYT, and the Majority Report with Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland. So where does this all start? For those of you that might not be aware of this story, Fox News, the very end of August, ran a story on their network about Venezuelan gang members, violent Venezuelan gang members, taking over an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. So let's look at some of their very initial reporting, if that's what you want to call it, on this story. Here it is.
Of the Denver area are on high alert tonight as officials raise the alarm there that members of Venezuela's most notorious gangs are likely operating inside Colorado. The fear of violence is forcing people in certain areas to pack up and move out. Senior correspondent Alicia Acuna is in Denver with the story.
Two disturbing doorbell videos from an apartment building in Aurora, Colorado. One shows a group of armed men in a stairwell and hall approaching a doorway. In another, two men force their way into the unit.
There are several buildings actually under the same ownership, out-of-state ownership, that have fallen to these Venezuelan gangs.
Mayor Mike Kaufman says the gangs
Mike
have
Kaufman, the
out
Republican,
management at 3 apartment complexes and are likely extorting residents. He could not confirm reports the gangs are part of the federally designated transnational criminal organization Tren de Aragua, or TDA, which originated in Venezuela.
I'm not going to surrender any part of this city to a criminal element.
The hallway incident was the last straw for Edward and Cindy Romero, who decided to move out.
Every time we try to go to bed at night, we have to keep it like this so nobody can kick in the door.
The Romeros say a gunfight this month left their car riddled with bullet holes. They say things changed when migrants moved in. Aurora PD won't connect the video to the gang, telling Fox News in a statement, quote, "Based on our initial investigative work, we believe reports of TDA influence in Aurora are isolated." But Aurora is not alone. Last week, the U.S. Attorney in Colorado announced a federal grand jury indicted 4 Venezuelan nationals for the armed robbery of a Denver jewelry store. Homeland Security investigation says at least one is affiliated with TDA.
So Fox News's basic, I guess, I don't even know if you could call it a hypothesis because they are on their network saying this out loud. Fox News's reasoning for, or proof that this apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado has been taken over by violent Venezuelan gang members is that there have been arrests made in surrounding areas of people that might have possible connections to gangs. That's literally their entire proof that this happened here. Excuse me, the Fox News website just happens to be the absolute worst website in the entire world. But it's Fox News. That was a fucking lie. Everything that you just heard, well, not everything that you just heard, those arrests were real, but this apartment complex being taken over by these violent Venezuelan gangs is completely fabricated, completely made up, and we have a clip here that was posted by the Decoding Fox News account. They do some amazing work. I'm actually not following them. I am now. Go and check them out if you have a Twitter account. They do really some amazing work. So let's take a look at some local news coverage of this supposed apartment complex takeover.
Kamala's open borders insanity is wreaking more havoc. Officials in Aurora, Colorado are setting up a task force after terrifying video emerged of a vicious apartment invasion, allegedly by a dangerous migrant gang.
So, and just for context here, this video, this specific one right here, that one with the guys, like, hitting the block with the hammer, I hadn't actually seen that before I started getting these clips for this video. This is the video that's really causing the biggest stir. It's this clip right here, this 5-6 second clip. But let's continue on here.
An invasion, allegedly by a dangerous migrant gang.
Developing this morning, we're hearing the people living inside of one of those chaotic apartments in Aurora where the alleged gang activity is taking place. Neighbors telling us gangs are not the problem.
Oh. gangs aren't the problem. Really? 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 We're going to get to the TYT stuff soon.
They say poor management is the problem.
Yeah, so this all comes after we've showed you this concerning video, that video that you just saw of what allegedly could be gangs going door to door there. Fox 31's Courtney Fromm, she's on it live in Aurora this morning. Now we're even hearing from the mayor who, is saying this is because of slumlords, not the gangs. So we're kind of hearing both sides of this.
Yeah, good morning to you both. And the neighbors who actually live in the Edge at Lowry Apartments, they actually had a rally yesterday to talk about all of this and say, hey, this is not what's going on. It's actually, this building's kind of a mess and the management company is not taking care of it. And they're asking specifically to talk to the Mayor Mike Kaufman, I should say, here in Aurora. And it sounds like the mayor is on board to chit chat about what's going on. Now, Mayor Mike Kaufman says there have been conversations of an emergency order to take over the complex, but he says that's a last resort. Now, those who live there, they tell us they have had no issues with gang activity.
No issues with gang activity. Just keep that in the back of your motherfucking head. Keep that locked in.
But say the real crime is the horrible living conditions they've been dealing with, like the mountains of trash, bed bugs, and even mice. And they say all of this happening without any help from the property management company. Now, the management company, CB's management, also oversaw the Nome Street complex that was shut down last month. Now, the city shut down Nome Street because of code violations.
Wow, the same management company that owned a different apartment complex got that complex shut down because of code violations. Wow.
But the management company says that they couldn't go in there and actually deal with the code violations because it was overrun by a Venezuelan gang.
And that right there tells you everything you need to know. It is a piece of shit. These apartment complexes are ran by pieces of shit landlords. Literally some of the most evil, disgusting, despicable human beings that will, instead of providing these paying tenants with livable conditions, updating their shit, making sure that they're safe from stuff like fucking rodents or fucking the building is safe to live in. No, they're going to sit there and do some of the absolute most horrible, disgusting propaganda and say, oh, it's actually immigrants. It's actually violent immigrants that overtook the building. Yeah, sure.
That's all. Everybody kind of pointing the finger at each other. But that location, like I said, allegedly.
And then again, the other thing is like, just why would these people all lie about this? Why? It's so stupid. A first grader could see through this bullshit.
Location, like I said, allegedly also had gang activity. Now, the mayor, though, he says all of these allegations are a potential crutch for the company to be using.
Yeah, so that local news coverage, again, told you literally everything you need to know. We do also have a Snopes fact check article that we might take a look at here at the end, but let's get to TYT now, one of the main focus points of this story. So TYT, they actually did a 25-minute segment on this on their main show, and they posted the clip, Venezuelan gang takes over an apartment complex, or did they? And we're not going to watch this whole thing. We are going to take a look at some clips at it. If my computer wasn't a piece of shit, we might be able to have watched the entire thing, but we're going to get the gist of TYT's they're literally just doing Fox News propaganda at this point. They are literally doing Fox News' job for them, and here are some of those clips.
Some video footage that shows armed men confronting a driver in the parking lot of the apartment complex. Let's put that up. So if you look closely at the kind of upper right-hand side, you see a car parked, and you see individuals approaching that vehicle armed with guns. Luckily, in this case, the footage doesn't show anyone getting hurt or getting shot. But apparently, this particular apartment complex, according to some of the residents and former residents, has been riddled with all sorts of gang violence over the last year. But this incident has sparked a big debate and I believe some gaslighting about whether or not there is a problem with Venezuelan migrant gangs basically taking over apartment buildings or causing violent crimes at these apartment buildings. And the local government can't seem to keep its facts straight or its story straight.
Yeah, the local government, again, just for context here, the local government it's all Republican. They're all Republican, so just keep that in mind. Let's continue.
After that, it appeared that the state and local leaders kind of went into panic mode because they started to claim that there's no problem at all. What do you mean? This is a figment of your imagination. In fact, the governor, Jared Polis, claims that the allegations are a figment of your imagination. And Aurora's interim police chief said that the gangs had not taken over one of the complexes. Now, depending on what you're hearing different things. And whether or not this is a widespread problem in Aurora, Colorado remains to be seen.
Yeah, dude. Yep. She got it. Yeah. I don't know if any of my audience or anyone watching this video lives in Aurora or around Aurora, Colorado, but it just, you know, is it a war zone like Anna Kasparian is saying it is? Is it just fucking gangs having shootouts and shit? You know, breaking into your home, stealing, you know, whatever the fuck gangs do. I don't even know. Aurora, Colorado is a fucking war zone, guys. I mean, it's horrible over there. It's really bad, you know? How bad is it going to get? How bad is it going to get?
Let's be clear about that. But the issue of this Venezuelan gang carrying out violent acts and crimes in the area, there seems to be a lot of evidence of that.
No.
While the Democratic lawmakers and leaders in the state and local level want to pretend like it's not happening at all.
Yes. I cannot take them literally just doing fucking Fox News fear-mongering about crime. I can't, man. It makes my blood fucking boil so goddamn much.
Now, on the other hand, the left wing, why do you guys want to deny that any crime exists in the world?
Yeah, guys. Yeah. You stupid fucking leftists. Why do you guys deny any crime that happens? Why? Why do you guys do it? I would call myself a leftist, you know. I'm a progressive, you know. All I do is, you know what? Crime's not real. It's not real. It doesn't exist. I'm saying it. Fuck it. I'm saying it, dude. It's not real. Not real.
Like, how do you think that gives you credibility? And like, how does it help anyone? I mean, you claim to care about migrants, then why don't you care about the migrants that are in those buildings? In fact, I think the cops aren't going in, and the mayor didn't do anything because they thought, what difference does it make? It's migrants. Well, it's their people, let them deal with it. No, we don't do that in America. We're all one.
What do we do in America then, Cenk? What do we do in America? You could put the Fox News banner at the bottom, and I would just, oh yeah, okay, Cenk joined Fox News. Like, I mean, come on, dude.
Here, we're citizens, we're U.S. citizens, okay? You go protect those people. And left-wingers,
There's nothing to protect them from. You want to know what we need to be protecting them from? You want to know what the goddamn government in Aurora, fucking Colorado should be worried about? They should be worried about the goddamn tenants of the apartment complex that hasn't been taken over by violent Venezuelan gangs. They should be worried about the motherfucking tenants that are paying money, their hard-earned goddamn money, to live in a motherfucking building that is not safe. That isn't safe. It's not clean. They don't have the things they need to be able to survive safely. And this is what TYT's worried about. No, don't call out the fucking slumlord. Don't call out the piece of shit management company that literally had an entire complex close. An entire complex closed because of building code violations. No. Go with the Fox News made-up talking point. I'm sure it gets them more views. And anyone that wants to sit there, this is just totally me ranting right now in this moment, but I need to say this. To anyone that wants to come to my video, this one, or any of my other videos, and say that I make content like this for clout, shut the fuck up. That is the stupidest thing you could possibly ever say. If I wanted to make political content just for clout, I wouldn't fucking be making, I would be doing conservative propaganda, okay? I would be grifting on the right, because that's where the money is, and that's where the views are, right? Okay? Just, it pisses me off when I have people come to these videos and say, oh, you know, you're doing this for clout. You're doing this because you want to be popular. I don't, no. It's just, it's absolutely ridiculous. But again, you know, this, I'm sure this is working out great for TYT here.
I don't get it. If you're pushing back against the demagoguing of immigrants, I just did that. That's how you do that, okay? But if you say, in order to push back against that, I'm just going to pretend that no immigrant has ever committed a crime.
Who says shit like that? Who says shit like that other than conservative crazy motherfuckers? No progressives don't say shit like that. Go look at the leftist voices. Go look at the Surfs TV. Go look at the Rational National David Dole. Go look at Olayemi. Go look at Rebecca Azer, Benjamin Dixon. Go look at the motherfucking Majority Report. Go look at these people that have Twitter accounts. Ryan Grimm, all these fucking people. They don't say shit like that. And their followers, the people that follow them, the activists that don't have as big of a platform but still do amazing work either on social media, in real life, whatever. They don't say shit like that. Show me where the fuck that's happening. They never can, and they never will, because it's not fucking real, dude.
And that those gangs aren't here, and they haven't taken over anything.
They haven't. They fucking haven't. The goddamn people that live in the... Why? Can you please explain to me? Anyone that is disagreeing with me right now, or if Jenk, if you're seeing this video on the off chance, please, for the goddamn life of me, explain why the fucking tenants of the goddamn building, if it did get taken over, would not be crying out for help, and instead they hold a rally to try to bring attention to the fact that their piece of shit landlord will not fucking do their fucking job right. It doesn't even make sense.
You sound ridiculous.
If I had a mirror, I would hold it up, but I don't have one with me right here. I don't even know. We have more. We have more of this. Okay, we've got 2 more here. I don't. We're gonna do them. We're gonna do them, and then we're gonna get to the Majority Report. A breath of fresh air. I can finally, I can sit back and relax after that.
The majority of the left wing is perfectly reasonable on this.
Are they? You and I
Anna,
might have a disagreement here, Jenk.
Yeah, we have a massive disagreement. You give those tiny little...
She's just a pompous asshole now. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to do personal attacks or anything, but she is such a fucking ass, man. It's just ridiculous at this point. She thinks she's better than every single other person on the left, and I'm just tired of it. It just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and you guys are hurting the left more than you're helping now. You, literally. I don't know. These TYT is part of the reason I am the person I am today. I can credit them for that. But I can't say that, I can't say that they're the same as they were. They're not. This is horrible, man. This is just so garbage.
Leftist streamers way too much
They're
better.
not tiny little leftist streamers, Jenk. Hassan called the city council member racist for helping this woman move out of that. But that's not a small streamer. That's a huge streamer. That's not.
Okay, so she's just jealous of Hassan. Still jealous of Hassan. How long has this been? It's been over a year. She still hasn't got over that shit. She has to move on, man. If her jealousy for another leftist streamer like Hassan is seriously clouding her judgment this bad, making her judgment this askew, she needs to step down from her position at TYT. Honestly, that's how I feel about it. Because if you're going to get on your main show, your main progressive talk show, and then do shitty Fox News propaganda, especially based on the fact that you're jealous of another streamer because he's more popular than you, then I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know why anyone would take this seriously, because I'm not anymore.
A small person.
Okay, I mean,
do you get what I'm saying?
I mean, what are we going to get into this now? We're going to be like Trump with crowd sizes?
No, but okay.
But hold on, Anna. Hold on.
Do Democrats come out and push back against that narrative, Jenk? Just the mainstream Democratic Party, do they come forward and push back against that narrative? Because you have the Democratic governor denying all of this. So I don't know who on the left wants to do something about it.
Anna, the majority of the left wing is perfectly reasonable on this.
Okay, that was the entire clip and started replaying there. There's one more here. This last one is just I'll just read you guys what it says. There's no point in watching it. Jenk says about the Young Turks, we definitely represent the left because they get more views than Hassan Piker and other streamers and outlets, which is the same argument Jenk makes when he says that, I think it was trans athletes in sports. I'm not 100%, but Jenk basically said that progressives and people on the left shouldn't be championing or fighting for something or being activists for something if it's not popular amongst mainstream voters, which is just both of those takes are just absolutely horrible and not really leftist. And then we have two tweets here. Local news in Colorado has absolutely confirmed Venezuelan gangs took over apartment buildings in Aurora, including a report by a legal team hired by the property owners. They're literally defending the landlords. I don't know what to tell you guys. The people that are watching this video that still support TYT and still want to sit there and tell me that I'm wrong or they're right about this, they are defending a piece of shit landlord. So why are the local authorities ceding U.S. territory to foreign gangs? Why haven't the cops gone in already? This has 62,000 likes. And then, this one was actually posted a few days before that other one. I'm one of the people super frustrated about this. Apparently, this takeover of buildings has been happening for weeks. So why haven't the cops reclaimed the buildings? You want to collect some evidence? Sure. You want federal backup? Sure. But it's been weeks. Let's go. And finally, that brings us to the majority report's coverage of this topic. And I'm so glad that we got to this part of the video. I survived. You survived too, I hope. I hope you're still with me. This right here is the golden standard, I believe, the golden standard for what coverage of stories like this should be from a progressive / left-leaning news outlet. And for those of you that might have missed this clip or this part of their live show, Venezuelan gang frenzy exposed as right-wing anti-immigrant BS is the title of the clip up on the Majority Report channel. Here it is.
Let's talk about this Venezuelan thing. Yesterday or Wednesday on the program, we got a phone call from someone from Aurora, right?
I don't know if he was calling from Aurora, but he was calling about this particular
And he asked me if I heard about
situation.
this sort of like fake story going around that the right wing is pushing, that there's gangs of like a Venezuelan gang that has taken over a building in Aurora, Colorado.
Right.
Okay, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that I interrupted Uncle Sam here. I just have to make one quick little point here. This story, again, was completely fabricated and pushed by Fox News, okay? It is easy for regular, everyday people to fall into right-wing propaganda traps. It's very easy for that to happen to, you know, someone that maybe they don't follow the news, they don't follow politics very closely every single day, you know, they just, you know, they hear and they see stuff, they hear stuff from other people, you know. It's very easy for, I guess the word you would use is normies, which I fucking hate that word so much. You know, it's easy for people like that to fall into conservative right-wing propaganda traps because they're literally everywhere in this country, especially. So, you know, it's understandable for like a random person to, you know, maybe think that this might be something that's really happening, or, you know, an older person that's, you know, whatever. Doesn't matter. For someone like TYT, it's inexcusable. It is inexcusable for them, even if somehow on the off chance, which, you know, legitimately, I don't even know if there's no responsibility taken by TYT. Completely irresponsible. There is no excuse for their coverage of this. Without further ado, I'll let Uncle Sam continue.
And he was like, and I'm like, no, I haven't heard anything about this at all. And he's like, it's crazy because it is being perpetrated by a slumlord who has been cited by Aurora apparently for years now in not servicing this building. And there's been protests by people in the building. And the way that the landlord, who is an absentee landlord literally I think he said was in Florida or a different state.
Very typical of these corporate landlord, slumlord types who apparently the complaints were of unsafe and unsanitary conditions, garbage, feces, rodents all over the place.
And they are trying to make it as if this thing has been sort of infiltrated by this Venezuelan gang. Now, it's conceivable that there are Venezuelans living in there. It's conceivable that there are, you know, criminals living in there. I mean, it's, you know.
If it's an impoverished area or a building that is, you know, run down or maybe rent is lower,
we have
right?
criminals living in, you know, Mar-a-Lago as far as concerned. But it's quite but the idea that this building has been taken over by gangs, Venezuelan gangs, is quite the story. And here is CBS Colorado reporting on this. I think they're probably just as like sort of flummoxed by these like sort of myths that are going around. But well, let's play this clip.
Well, it's not the gangs, but the landlords that are their biggest threat. And that's according to some people living in an Aurora apartment building that is at the center of an ongoing gang situation.
Just remember here, guys. This is what Jenks said here. He said this. Local news has absolutely confirmed Venezuelan gangs took over apartment buildings in Aurora, but yet this is two separate local news stations from Aurora that we're playing clips of. Oh, and they're not saying that. Wow, it's like he fucking lied.
Reporters in Aurora have been following this ongoing situation involving Venezuelan gang members closely. We showed you this video and others that have been circulating online and creating outrage on both sides of the border debate. Shows men with rifles in the halls of a building at 12th and Dallas. A former resident released this video saying gang members have taken control of the building and are terrorizing the people who live there. Tori Mason is your reporter in Aurora and has been following this closely for you. And Tori, residents say the conditions in that building are horrible.
Yes, and police have said there are components of the TDA gang operating in Aurora, but not to the extent of them taking over entire apartment complexes. Now,
and just remember, that was Fox News' entire jumping point for saying this apartment complex had been taken over, is the Aurora Police Department saying that there could be possible gang-related activities happening in this area, and they could be connected to this specific gang. But again, nothing to do with the building.
Spoken to residents who say they have seen gang violence often, but today we heard from residents who say the problems in their building aren't gang-related at all.
We're here today to set the story straight.
Residents at an apartment with reported gang activity say that's far from the truth. They say they're victims, but not of TDA.
There are no gangs. There are no criminals.
Gladys Tovar lives here with her children.
I have been here for a year and I have not received any kind of violence.
Last week, one of their neighbors shared a different experience.
It's really like being held hostage.
Cindy
and this lady right here, this individual right here, she actually went on to Fox News. I don't know when it was. I think it was Laura Ingram's program not too long ago, a few days ago, and did an interview. And I actually think I might have that pulled up. We might take a look at that. But this individual is not trustworthy at all.
Like being held hostage.
Cindy's doorbell video shows armed men entering a unit. These neighbors say that was an isolated break-in. They claim the biggest danger here are rats and bed bugs, and the real threat is the property owner.
The only criminal here is the owner of this apartment who steals from us every month, asking us to pay for this living.
CBZ management says the gang scared property managers away from another building off Nome Street. Gladys says they've been paying rent and nothing's getting fixed.
The owner abandoned us.
Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman visited the building this week. In a statement, he says the goal is to get these properties under the control of owners as soon as possible.
Can you pause it?
Yeah, Mike Kaufman. Yeah, no, okay. Sorry, I'm not going to interrupt.
Guess what party Mike Kaufman is a part of? He's a Republican, the mayor of Aurora, former congressman. He has been key in pushing this particular narrative, and I just want to note that as we continue to hear from the actual residents of the building, as opposed to taking the word of the lawyer of a corporate landlord and a Republican mayor of a city.
Also amazing that this mayor was able to go into a building complex taken over by Venezuelan gangs. It's also amazing that these Venezuelan gangs have obviously been supporting these people who live in the apartments enough that they will come out and run cover for the gangs.
And they're playing the long game, too, by filing all those complaints about unsafe conditions that were in, like, 2021 and things like that.
You've also got to appreciate the commitment by these people who are living in these buildings. They have obviously made their apartments look like absolute hell as a way of protecting these gang members. It's fascinating.
Sam's too good, dude. We don't deserve Sam.
The goal is to get these properties under the control of owners as soon as possible. Neighbors say false information puts their safety at risk. A text sent to a resident calls them animals and threatens them with more firepower than you can ever imagine.
Neighbors from other buildings are posting around where we live.
They say it's time the city stop using a gang as an excuse.
These families deserve the opportunity to have resources and time to move somewhere safe.
Now, the mayor says the best course of action is to shut these buildings down. Right now, the city's attorney's office is preparing an emergency court order to clear the buildings where gang activity has occurred. These people want a meeting with the city first. We're live in Aurora.
Well, you know, local news wouldn't have the incentive to play off crime if it really, if it was really happening, right?
No, I mean, the irony is that you have got right-wingers promoting this story that that these buildings are being taken over by gangs, when the residents, are saying that this is putting us in jeopardy. Now, ostensibly, the reason why the people who are promoting this story that it's being taken over by gangs, because they care about the residents.
Right.
But yet, they're not listening to the residents.
And I'm reminded of stories that we heard about crime where it came from corporations that put it out into the press, and there were a lot of outlets on the right that took it at face value and that didn't correct themselves when the companies themselves corrected themselves. Target blamed shoplifting for
closing 9 stores, and of course it turns out that there were higher crime areas that they kept stores open. What they were basically doing is what a lot of these corporations do is, I'm going to blame my failure as the CEO or the CFO or the COO or the board of directors on choosing proper locations by saying it was a function of something other than me. I mean, it's that corporate thing. I just remember a guy at Air America when I was like, you completely lost like a market share, and he's like, well, there were 5 decisions that were made that were out of my control.
Well, I mean, but this is a lesson, I think, for people in terms of media literacy, right? Like, look at who was making the claim.
Yeah. Are you taking notes, TYT? Because if you're not, you need to get your fucking pen and paper out and start taking some.
The party that is interested in offloading the responsibility of, say, losses or poor conditions in an apartment complex onto an outside factor that is where they can basically scapegoat certain people or scapegoat people who are poor or who are undocumented. Look at who is making the claim. This entire right-wing hysteria came from the lawyer of the corporate landlord putting that out into the public, and then the Republican mayor backing him. And this is a problem broadly with these corporate landlords not being held to account and allowing apartments because they own property, and that's that's a privileged class in this country. Letting them fall into disrepair, and then again blaming broader societal ills that fit their political agenda for their own failures. This is something that happens all the time, and you gotta just read into the second or third paragraph before sharing some of this stuff. But I guess that's too much to ask for some people in the media.
Trombone guy, regarding Aurora, Anna Kasparian has been spreading this as well as Jank supporting comments. I can't believe that. That's ridiculous. Seriously?
We had an IM about this yesterday, but I guess I didn't connect that it was the same story.
Hey, folks.
Yeah, and the difference in those 2 coverages that I just showed you guys is literally fucking night and day, right? Majority Report, as they always do, hit the nail right on the head, exposed not only the right-wing propaganda machine, the right-wing fucking bullshit that they peddle every goddamn day, but also literally not exposed, but addressed and showed you what the actual fucking part of the issue is. They showed you what the real issue is. Sam and Emma absolutely did an amazing job there. Jank and Anna, you people have to do better. There is no more excuses. There is no more, whatever they want to fucking jealousy about Hassan, what the fuck ever. Even Sam, at the very end, you guys caught that, said, I can't believe that Jank and Anna are pushing a story because it's so blatantly fucking bullshit. It's like they saw one Twitter post and then said, oh, well, we're going to do this coverage today on the main show. That being said, that's going to be it for the video. Guys, I hope I was able to kind of connect everything and make it seem somewhat coherent. You know, I like to pause, ramble, rant, whatever. That's going to be it for the video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, press that little bell, turn on all notifications so you guys never miss an upload.